Bessie. I'm giving you your critique for your work. I know, there wasn't a lot of time between when I had office hours and we talked and now. So, if I give you some of the same notes, forgive me, I'm not trying to be a dead horse, and you probably already know, but just for the sake of thoroughness, I'm going to say what I see. So I'm going to identify your keyframes. I think you have an errant key right here. I don't think that's intentional. So just select all of your curves and figure out where that's coming from. I do not want a mark here. So is this? Nope. So that is passing 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. There's probably, okay. Okay. So I'm going to talk about the first 8, but there is only, this is like 1 frame apart. So this pose is being held for only 1 frame before it goes to this. So I'm not sure. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. Yeah. This is maybe an accidental pose. I'm not sure. Anyways, let's talk about what's going on here. This is kind of like an in-between pose, which is fine. So what I would suggest is this foot roll, this kind of, let me zoom in a bit here more. This foot roll is good and I think successful, but maybe I would save that for here. So maybe if you can, keep the foot planted more on the ground here with that toe bend. Which means here, I want you to kind of back off on it. Maybe have this flat or almost flat with the heel just barely picking up off the ground. And in order to get the length in the leg that you're going to need, because this is a nice knee bend right there, you may need to just lower down your center of gravity a little bit to give your leg enough length to get this heel more on the ground. This is a little bit finicky, but I think it's going to be good for the final result. Cool. Yeah, and this picking up off the ground I like, and both of these leg poses are great. I love it. Oops, didn't mean to do that. Yep, and that's a good pass through. I feel like the angle here forward, well, it feels more aggressive than this one. Maybe this one's a little bit more successful than this one. Maybe it's because this foot placement is maybe a little bit more up there, but I think there's also a little bit of chest rotation. It's not a big deal, but maybe it's something just to keep an eye out for, because it may cause once we hit play. Let me bracket this. Yeah, it's okay, but you can see there's a little chest bumping happening going on in there. That may be one of the factors of why that's happening. Again, nitpicky stuff. Yeah, so this is curious. Maybe it's an accident. Maybe it's just an artifact for office hours. But if you really want to go from this pose to this pose, what I would suggest is for this pose, get this foot up in the air. We want to make sure that our audience sees that foot up the air, that's clear. And then on this pose, we want to see the foot planted on the ground, right? This foot's not going to be able to leave the ground until the character's weight is on this foot. So if the character's just has that heel plant on that contact pose, then yeah, so this needs to be planted. And then I think here too, I'm missing the rotation of the hips, where the hips would be a little bit more open. So we would see, let me get rid of that arrow because it's right where I want to draw the hips. But we would see, you know, like this is the side of the pelvis, and then this is like the front of the pelvis. We would see it open up a little bit as the legs kind of reach forward to do this stride. That's going to change the lengths on your legs just a tiny bit, but I think it's important to get that in there at this stage. I think the spacing on your arms hasn't been fully resolved. Again, like this pose on your arm is very much the same as this pose when we want to see it swing back, because as this leg comes forward, that arm comes back. This is nice, so maybe you just need to get it in between, you know, this pose and this one. The in between maybe is around there. So many colors that you can't even see what's going on, but maybe that's where kind of that pose's arm needs to be. That's maybe the arm's starting to come forward. It kind of looks like maybe it's starting to come forward. Maybe you want to push this pose back a little bit to make that more of a change. But then that looks good. That looks good. That looks good. I think you're going to have to spend a little bit more time closer to the pose before you start bringing it back. But maybe we're just in blocking, so never mind. Ignore that note. Erase it. Yeah, cool. What I would suggest to do is to go in and try to like chill out what's going on in your chest. There are these two controllers there. Try to find some more consistency in them, in their rotation X, forward and back. Also translating them, you know, because you're translating them both up and down in Y, and then, you know, there's 6 axes to translate them on. It's hard to get them to look like stable and consistent. I think maybe this one is the one that is definitely kind of catching my eye, because I feel like maybe you can see like this sliver right here. You can start to see some of the characters back. And I would expect almost the opposite to be true when this arm is swinging back here. Like, I think we should almost want to see like the front of the chest, not a sliver of the back. So just take a pass at that and see if you can settle it down and kind of make more sense. You know what I'm trying to say? But anyways, I'd keep working on these 8 poses. Let's get them really super strong and solid before we move forward with breaking them down and everything. Yeah, so what we talked about in office hours, and then also these notes. I can't remember what notes I gave in office hours or whatever, but yeah. And then from the front, it's like a whole nother part of the puzzle, right? But again, in office hours, I probably mentioned that I want to see a little bit more left to right on this, on the center of the, what do I want to call it? Like the cog or whatever. Like when the character has fully got their weight on this foot and this one's like up in the air, I think that we need to like move it over, meaning the center of gravity, get those hips tipped a little bit. You know, you can keep kind of like the same foot pose and everything on this leg. It looks really sharp, but it's got to come over more this way. And then, you know, I don't do what I draw because I'm not trying to say this is exactly what you need to do. I'm just trying to like communicate a concept. And then maybe the shoulders tip the other way a little bit. I don't know. I'm less concerned about the shoulders and more. This is pretty extreme, but you know, like the character's weight here, it looks like they're gonna tip over this way, right, with this foot up off the ground. So, you know, again, it should be more biased to this side, and then, you know, it starts to come over here. You know, it'd be pretty far over to where it would be when the foot plants. And when the foot plants again, it's going to be tipped up here and over here, that kind of stuff. Yeah, so then I think that was the biggest thing that was like catching my eye from the front view. It does feel like the torso is just kind of tilted over to the right for most all of the walk. I don't know if you're seeing that or not, but I bet if you chill out the torso and maybe zero some of it out, or make it a little bit more consistent, that's just something to keep an eye on, for sure. Let's work, like I said, let's work on these 8 pose and knock them out and get them really solid, and then we'll take like a closer look at your arms and some of the arcs and stuff like that, and get into breaking those poses down to doing the 16. But anyways, thank you for submitting. Thank you for your hard work. Office hours are always available if you need them. So yeah, but great stuff. Can't wait to see you next week, and let me know if you have any questions. All right, thanks. Bye.